In this next story, gang members have been jailed after detectives unravelled a county line's conspiracy following a routine car stop. Officers pulled over the vehicle on the 2nd of June 2022 as it headed out of Nottinghamshire on the A46 carrying packages full of heroin and coke. Officers from the force's dedicated County Lines team began a major investigation which revealed the county line was running from Nottingham to various areas in neighbouring Lincolnshire and Leicestershire. Drugs were being sold in bulk using a mobile phone line, and vulnerable people and children as young as 13 were being exploited to act as runners to transport them within and across the borders. Detectives were able to prove the involvement of multiple offenders through CCTV footage and mobile phone downloads. They were revealed to be in regular contact with each other to facilitate the supply of drugs and allocate the runners. 4 men found inside the car following the initial stop: Jaxon Hardwick, Ellis Johnson, Charlie Scurr, and Alan Reynolds were arrested at the scene. Johnson attempted to flee, carrying a parcel containing more than 100 wraps of Class A. Whilst he was being detained, Hardwick and Scurr attempted to throw 2 other packages full of drugs in a nearby bin. Analysis of mobile phones seized from all 4 revealed evidence of a drugs conspiracy involving the 2 county lines working in unison. Hardwick was sending out bulk messages advertising the sale of Class A drugs to users in Lincoln, and a second line arranged the transport of runners from Nottingham to Lincoln carrying the drugs. Keenan Fraser was identified as a key contact of Scurr and in regular contact with other members of the gang. A raid on Fraser's home in February 2023 discovered a cryptocurrency package, drug dealing equipment, knives, an extendable baton, designer clothing, and bundles of cash. Analysis of his phones revealed he'd been recruiting children to transport drugs. Further breakthrough was achieved when officers in Melton Mowbray in Leicestershire were called with concerns about a teenage boy who had been reported missing and his image circulating on social media. He was spotted by a member of the public in a supermarket with a local drug user. Officers attended this drug user's home and the boy was found to be locked inside the property. When officers analysed the boy's mobile phone, they found messages received from the county line. Officers discovered drugs, weapons, cash and high-value items when carrying out further raids on properties in Nottinghamshire, Lincolnshire and Leicestershire. A total of 9 offenders have now been sentenced at Nottingham Crown Court after being convicted of conspiracy to supply Class A drugs. So Keenan Fraser, who's 23 years old, he was described by the judge as playing a leading role, organising the buying and selling of drugs on a commercial scale. He had considerable influence on other people within the enterprise and knew he was exploiting children as young as 13 by using them as runners. He was also convicted of arranging the travel of another person with a view to exploitation and was jailed for a total of 12 years. Jaxon Hardwick, who's 23, had control of one of the lines and was described as heavily invested in the enterprise. He was jailed for 4 years and 4 months. Charlie Scurr, who's 21, described in court as having an operational role, travelling as the dealer and aware of the scale of the operation. He was jailed for 2 years and 6 months. You got Kyron McGregor, a street dealer with operational knowledge, who's 19 years old, and he was jailed for 3 years and 9 months, and he was also convicted of a fray after a fight involving a group armed with weapons in Clifton and Nottingham in May 2022, and possession of a knife from January this year when he ran from police in Sleaford in Lincolnshire. You got Tom Woodworth, who's 38, described in court as a hapless addict but had knowledge of the scale of the enterprise. The judge said he was fully aware of young people being exploited and he was jailed for 4 years and 3 months. You got Leila Barnes, who allowed dealers to stay at her Lincoln home and used the flat to store drugs. The judge said she was a willing participant who was aware children were being used as runners and had not been threatened or cuckooed. She was jailed for 3 years. You got Ellis Johnson, who's 20, was jailed for 2 years and 2 months after attempting to flee the scene when the original arrest took place on the A46. And then you had a few others who got suspended sentences. The Detective Constable Charlie Sylvester of Nottinghamshire Police said, "This was a complex investigation which began back in the summer of 2022 and involved multiple police teams and many hours of painstaking detective work. As so often with these conspiracies, some of the individuals involved were also being exploited themselves by those higher up the chain. There was evidence, however, that several members of this gang were living lavish lifestyles funded by the misery of others. The gang was a typical county lines business model, with drug dealers exploiting vulnerable young people to do their dirty work while they made large profits. Children as young as 13 were encouraged to travel to places some distance away and which they did not know to transport and sell drugs. It exposed them to multiple dangers which children should never be subjected to. The harm groups like this cause to communities, which is why it's the priority of the force to target and disrupt those believed to be involved. It's our proactive County Lines team, supported by force teams and resources, continues to tackle this problem all year round and is a testament to the hard work, dedication and teamwork shown by officers that were able to shut down the County Lines operations such as this one. We also work closely during this investigation with our colleagues in Lincolnshire and Leicestershire. And in this next story, officers used a single phone number and a £20 drug deal as a starting point to take down an entire organised crime group supplying coke and cannabis across Canvey Island. The culmination of this investigation has seen 3 dealers jailed for a total of more than 10 years. The man at top of the chain, 36-year-old Loney Tranter, supplied coke in bulk in exchange for a considerable profit. He's been jailed for 5 years. His assets have been frozen and proceeds under the Proceeds of Crime Act are underway against him. Tranter, he was the one who ran the coke and cannabis dealing lines with the assistance of a Peter Bartlett. The investigation began in earnest with a simple drug stop. The ongoing Operation Falcon has seen a dedicated team targeting and dismantling the organised crime groups and dealers operating in Castle Point and Rockford. As part of this work, the team stopped a man on Canvey Island in September 2022. He confirmed he was waiting to purchase £20 worth of coke. Examination of his mobile phone revealed a number of interest. As the team's investigation developed, monitoring and analysis of messages exchanged between the growing list of suspects detailed a clear structure and organisation, with open hours when the drug lines would be active and a discreet delivery service. This service would involve posting drugs through letterboxes or leaving them in open vehicles, as well as permitting customers to pay using bank accounts. Drug activity continued to cause issues to law-abiding members of the Canvey community. The police established Slater would instruct runners to deliver drugs to customers and would personally chase up drug debts. There were a few others, Jamie McLaughlin and Rebecca Porter. They allowed their bank accounts to be used for depositing the drug funds. Slater is believed to have been unemployed during the period of the investigation, but regularly received upwards of £2,000 a month in third-party transactions from named individuals, including from a known drug runner. Investigators found that Tranter, as the supplier took in considerable profit, his bank account showed a balance in excess of £80,000 in January 2023, and activity showed frequent cash deposits and third-party credits of varying amounts. Purchases were made regularly at holiday destinations, clothing stores and restaurants. He was living a lavish lifestyle. So Tranter was jailed for 60 months, Slater got jailed for 32 months, and Bartlett got jailed for 30 months. So guys, there's a number of news stories coming out from the streets of the UK. Once again, if you already haven't done so, please subscribe to the channel. Please give this video a little like and drop a comment below as well. Big respect going out to each and every one of you. It's your boy GT. Keep it locked, keep it real.